Awakening to the truth. Wake up UK. My thoughts of waking up. Welcome to Awakening to the Truth.
It's so nice to see so many people around the world starting to wake up. But what I find quite distressing is when I look around the UK, we seem to be one of the slowest countries for waking up. You see in America, the protests that are going on, calm protests, which should be no violence. It should just be calm protests, just showing what you believe in, really. Jamaica at the minute is busy protesting. They want their independence away from the country. They want an apology of Prince William from the royal family for the slavery that happened in the past. But the UK seem to be lagging at the minute to do with the awakening. And I find this really difficult to understand why. We all know that certain things that have happened over the past couple of years, these and what have you, there's data come out by the GPD and what have you, pushing for data from Pfizer and stuff like that, and it's revealing that it actually didn't vaccinate you against anything. Your own immune system builds up more than anything else to protect you. But they did play a part in all the lockdowns that were going on around the world, and especially in the UK, and it meant the white hats could carry out certain things that they needed to do while people were locked up in their houses and stuff. But it just seems that the UK seem to be lagging behind everybody. They seem to be taking longer to wake up than any other country in the world at the minute. And I find it bizarre because of the increases that we're suffering ourselves at the minute. The increases in fuel, energy prices, taxes going up, national insurance is going up, food prices are going up, everything's increasing. And that should be enough to tell you that the governments aren't there for the people. They've never been there for the people. This alone should be making the UK wake up. And I find it really hard to understand why. I know the UK has this whole part of a stiff upper lip, and we just plod on. Even sometimes it's not even without a care. I'm not saying it's an intentional thing, it's a bad thing. People are waking up at their own pace, and you have to wake up at your own pace. There is a lot more coming. Definitely, 100%, a lot more coming. That'll make the people that are still asleep wake up a lot more. When that'll be, I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I have got a timeline. We're on a certain timeline at the minute. I've got a video coming up on the 2nd of April to explain part of that, the collapse of 3D. So I don't really want to go into that at the minute. But we do know that the white hats are in control. We know this. It's like a big movie show at the minute. Everything's being played out. The white hats are in the background controlling the governments and what have you. And that's mainly just to show you the lies and the deception and the corruption that's actually going on in the world, and especially in the UK. It definitely shows you with all the increases that the UK is going through at the minute, just like the rest of the world, that the governments are corrupt and that they're just all for themselves. Now, whether that's an intentional thing that's being guided by the white hats to wake up the people in the UK, I'm not 100% sure. Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because I don't really think that the UK government are actually in power. a personal opinion, I don't think they're actually in power. I think the white hats are actually in the power, and the UK government, Boris Johnson, are just puppets for them. They're just being told what to do, what to say. And yes, you may think, why increase everything then? Why put we into more hardship? And the reason mainly is because the UK is not waking up. It is, but it seems to be coming in drips and drabs. The majority of the people I talk to either don't realise what's going on. You know, when I talk with them personally on a one-to-one basis out and about when I'm at work and things like that, they just don't seem to be aware of what's going on. It's like at the minute, when you talk about the increases and that are happening, they just get away, that's a normal government thing. It just happens, we've just got to pay it, haven't we? To the degree, yeah, of course we've got to pay it. We have no choice to pay it. But it doesn't stop we using our voices. It doesn't stop we using our voices to say we don't agree with this, to stand up for our rights. It was said before in one of the other videos, we didn't put them in power for to make our lives harder. They're there to represent we. They're there to spend our money on helping we. And they're not. They're making it harder for pensioners. They're making it harder for the lower income people and stuff like that. That's not helping the country. Kill them off, maybe. Definitely not helping them. I mean, we're coming up with the warmer weather, so the fuel prices doesn't seem as bad because heating doesn't go on as much. We're coming the winter, they'll suffer badly. No weather will start seeing changes before that. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I do think that the white hats are actually in control of the government. I don't think any government is actually in charge. America's exactly the same. I think the elite, the New World Order, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, probably do think that they've still got a bit of power. They still probably think that Biden has some power. He hasn't got no power. I've seen a couple of videos and researched a little bit into Biden. To do with that, he could be a clone. He could be, for all I know. I do know that when you look at some of the videos and some of the pictures that have been thingy, he's got a detached earlobe. I mean, I've got a detached earlobe from like 2008 and stuff like that. And now his earlobes, when you look at them on the photos, is like attached to his the side of his face. So there is some change in that. Doesn't happen. Yeah, earlobes don't just all of a sudden start touching your face. So it does make you wonder a little bit whether he is a clone or a body double or whatever you want to class him as, and he's just being a puppet for the white hats. They say people in Hollywood and that, the elite and that, are all involved in it. Not everybody in Hollywood. Some of your top actors, actresses and that. Definitely Hollywood as an organisation is definitely involved. Especially to do with the child trafficking and the drug trafficking and things like that. But I think they probably might think, some of them might still think that there's some power there and they're still going to try and fight against it. But I think the white hats have total control of it anyway. It'd be interesting to see, because the Oscars are coming up soon. So it would be really interesting to see which of your top Hollywood stars is not there. I think that'll be an interesting one to watch, to see what like your top Hollywood stars that aren't there. Where are they? Because obviously there is talk, and I'm sure some of you have heard the same things, that a lot of the Hollywood stars have been took in, they've been on trial, and they'll go to this prison planet. That's they are for preparation for all the people that have done humanity great harm, in the poor children and stuff on top of that. So it'd be interesting to see. We do know that there's talk also that some of these deep state people have come to the good side. They've been given an ultimatum. But I think they're the ones who maybe have been brought into it or born into this cult, Satanism, and that have had no real choice in the matter. So they could possibly have been given a choice to either come to the good side and do the right thing for humanity or suffer the consequences. Like I said, it'll be an interesting thing to see who's actually at the Oscars. I mean, I didn't really want to talk about Ukraine much. I think if you keep on going down the narrative that the deep state are putting in there, same along with the media put out that Putin's some sort of evil demon, some sort of like Hitler, which we all know that that's actually the Nazis that are fighting against them in Ukraine. In that they are targeting certain areas. Because of those where the deep state are, and they're trying to get them out. It's linked to the Clinton Foundation, Biden. Also is linked to Ukraine. You've also got Obama. There's leaked documents and that came out a while back about Obama's actual birth certificate linked into Ukraine. He's actually not American. But people knew that he had been put in power on purpose, like most of the politicians are put there. And they're usually put there as puppets for the deep state and for their agendas and that. But it's easy to, like the Clintons and that, especially Hillary Clinton, is still pushing for the American forces to go in and fight against them to try and create World War III. And hopefully for their benefit, they could create a nuclear war, because a nuclear war creates fear. And see, there's nothing to be fear for love. There isn't going to be no nuclear war. So the White Hats are in control. The ETs are in control. They shut down some of the nuclear missiles years back. It's some of the nuclear silos and that. It's a known fact, this. So they're not going to let a nuclear war happen. They're just letting it play out to look like that, so that people wake up more to see what the actual deep state are doing and how much lies the media is telling people, especially to do with the Ukrainian war and everything else, and that narrative that's negative. But I think part of that as well, I think that'll come out eventually. I think part of this Ukraine thing, once it's over, I think the news, the media and that, I think things will start coming out and leaked, especially start probably on social media, on YouTube and things like that, of people comparison of video footage that your top news companies have shown that they're fake, that parts of video footage from Iraq and things like that. And you could research this yourself and find out that actually some of these videos are from Iraq and that during the conflicts. As many people, when you research a few bits on the internet, you'll find people are finding photos and video footage that they've compared it to other things. There was one in Ukraine, it showed you a building that had been blown up, and it was proven by quite a few sources that it was actually a chemical plant in China from a few years ago. There was another one where there was a small child stood in a pile of rubble covered in soot. And this was found, actually, it was part of a video footage of a music video from India. So, more know that they're using game simulations and stuff like that. But I think all this will eventually get leaked out in the media, and the big news companies and that are just going to look like complete idiots. It's going to prove, and I think that will wake up some of the ones who are really still asleep. But that's usually America, obviously CNN, and there's a lot of them in America that are corrupt. We haven't got that many news channels actually in the UK. The BBC is definitely corrupt to hell. ITV are to an extent. It's not the news readers ourselves could be involved, but the companies that run them are definitely corrupt. So I think certain things have to come out where the UK will see these things a little bit more than what they are at the minute, because they really are lagging behind in waking up. And I don't know why. I don't know if people are just going by, just not taking any notice whatsoever, and just trying to get on with their day-to-day thing. And there's others are so ingrained into the system that they're just not thinking outside the box. I've been one of these people that have thought outside the box majority of my life. I've always found things interesting and a little bit of fact finding, because there's always a little bit of intuition there that tries to tell you that something's not right here. So I've never believed the mainstream narrative. So it makes me made me easier for me to see actually what's going on. And I do know that it's hard. I've got people around us who think I'm absolutely crazy. You know, I'm not crazy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. We're classed as conspiracy theorists, but we're not conspiracy theorists. And it always comes out eventually that these people who bring up conspiracy theories, and they get called crazy conspiracy theorists, and actually find out years down the line that actually wasn't a conspiracy, it was an actual true event. It's like the 9/11. Everybody knows that the 9/11 was nothing to do with a terrorist attack. But it took a while, it took a few years for them facts to come out, and for people to start speaking about what they actually saw and what they heard and things like that. So these conspiracies obviously always look like they're crazy until the facts come out. And all you have to do is keep an open mind. That's it. Just keep an open mind. Research it if you have to. Just nobody's telling you have to believe everything, like the likes of me's telling you, or anybody else on YouTube who's telling you things about the Great Awakening or about the deep state and that. Nobody tells you to believe it. They're just telling you to open your mind and look at it. Question it. Use your intuition. We don't use one intuition enough. When something doesn't feel right, a lot of we ignore it. We ignore that fact. And it's crazy that we do ignore that fact, because your intuition's the main thing that guides you through most of your life. It's them little things, even when you were younger, you would get out with your friends and stuff like that, and you know, something didn't feel right. They wanted you to do something, but something didn't feel right to you. You put it down to fear at the time. It's not actually fear. It's your intuition telling you it's not right. You shouldn't be doing it. Something's going to happen. You could get hurt or whatever. So you usually walk away from it. And the ones who didn't, or the weak-willed people, actually ended up, might have ended up all right, might end up getting hurt. But we don't use it enough. And the UK seems to be blindsided at the minute. And I can't understand why. I really can't. The UK seriously needs to wake up a little bit more. Just start looking at what's happening, the cracks in society and everything else. It's like the British monarchy. I don't believe the British monarchy. They're not there anymore. The British monarchy won't be around much longer. I think it'll end with the Queen. As a little tale goes that I think it was Nefertiti from Egypt and that. I'm not sure if it was Arkan or something like that. It's some of the Egyptian pharaohs and that were actually outcasted from Egypt thousands of years ago. And they ended up actually in Ireland. In that tomb for Nefertiti is actually in Ireland. It's in the middle of nowhere in Ireland, in the middle of a field. Now, what was supposed to have happened? That she brought a stone, like a magic stone. They reckon it was off-world. That's what the theory is. That it's an off-world power, like a device that gives the holder a lot of power, and it's usually given to whoever's the king or the pharaoh at the time. Now, this was stolen from the tomb, and it was took to Scotland. It belongs in Scotland. But apparently the English, when they were busy invading Scotland, and that got a hold of it, and it sits underneath the throne of the Queen. The Queen was the last person to use it when she was crowned. And apparently you can't be crowned without this stone, because the stone gives them the power. Now, the story goes that a couple of Scottish lads on a night out got a little bit drunk and that, managed to break in and retrieve the stone and took it back to Scotland, and it resides in Scotland to this day. This goes into a little bit more detail by a certain person, and I will put up hopefully a link underneath the description that'll link you to this person that'll be able to tell you a little bit more insight into this, because it's quite a fascinating story. He's got a load of videos coming up before long. Sometimes once he's edited them, it's Mahoney that's doing it. He's just came back recently from Ireland after doing all these this video on it. So I'll try and put a link up to an interview he had that he discusses this with Nick Finney-Arman. And you'd be able to hear it a little bit more from him. But the whole point of the story is anyway that if the stone's not there, there's nobody can next be crowned. So if it was to be Charles or something, he couldn't actually be crowned. So it would end the monarchy. But we know that the end of the monarchy would come anyway, because Charles, like I said once before, is actually under investigation by Scotland Yard. So the chances of him becoming king is quite slim anyway. And the monarchy is corrupt. I know a lot of British people don't like to hear that. Sorry, well, tough tit, basically, because I can believe what I want and you can believe what you want. If you believe in the monarchy, it's entirely up to you. They couldn't just arrest the Queen. They couldn't just kill her off or whatever. She's earning quite a bit now anyway. It would cause too many problems in this country because of the backing that she's got from the people in UK. But she is residing in Sandringham at the minute. She's actually not at Buckingham Palace, and she's got no intentions of going back to Buckingham Palace, which I find quite unusual, because there has been hearsay and what I hear that she's actually under house arrest by the White Hats. Could be a possibility. We just don't know, and they might just wait until she dies. Can't really. A 90-year-old that's on her last legs, basically. Take that to trial and saying they're off to another planet for her, for the crimes that she's committed against humanity. So it's one of them things. Yeah, but like I say, the governments and everything, I think we're going to see in the future where all governments are going to be dissolved anyway. They don't serve the public any justice. So I think it's just the UK just needs to wake up. I say it was a big story years, like quite a few years back, and it's still part going now about Nibiru, Planet X. And that was a big thing at 2012. Was going to be the part where Nibiru passed the Earth and that, which would have been catastrophic. It would have been a world-ending event, basically. I think it would have wiped out the majority of humanity altogether. It would have been a really catastrophic thing, an event to happen. Now, I do know a bit of information that, because people still ask, where is Planet X? Where is Nibiru? And it's actually been stalled. It's been stopped. It's halted. It's just behind the sun, just a little bit off behind the sun. It's been stopped by the Galactic Federation of Worlds. It sounds really crazy. How can they stop a planet that big? But the technology that they got can cause that. Hence why, where did we get our moon from? Because originally we didn't have a moon. The moon was pulled into place to act as a base and to act as a cycle for tides and stuff like that. It benefits, it lights up the night sky and things. So it was brought in, wasn't originally there. But this is what I've heard. This is what I've researched done. That Nibiru was actually just behind the sun. It's been stopped from passing. Main reason, like I say, because it would be the end. It would be the end for the Earth, and the Earth is going to be ascending. We're ascending already. The ones who are awake into fourth density, at least up to 80% of humanity is at least in fourth density or awake. With about 30 to 35% of humanity who are already vibrating with fifth density. What I am, I haven't got a clue. I would assume I'm probably in fourth density. Fifth density, I don't know. I'm fully awake, I know what's going on. Like I say, these things do sound crazy. Halting the planet, halting different things, deep states, people in the background taking control, the military going to come in eventually when they start dissolving governments. They need some sort of control there. The military got to come in. Hence why the military get mentioned every now and again. They get mentioned about their military being brought in. We've heard it a few times over the pandemic, about the military coming in and taking control and helping to do this, help them to do that. If things get too bad, the military brought in. It's all being put in place so that we get used to the idea of the military coming in to aid with and assist with in difficult times. Hence why we hear it, because it will happen eventually. And probably within, I would assume, the next year, 2022, is quite a big year. Numeric, I never get these words right. Numbers wise, sorry if it sounds a bit stupid, but plus we've just come out of 2021 not that long ago. In 2021, the Chinese calendar was obviously the ox, and the ox is known for setting the grounds, getting everything into place, putting everything in order, ready for the year to follow. And this year from February was obviously the year of the tiger, which is action, which is military, which is getting things done, forcing things to be done, because everything's getting put in place to start with. Like I say, the governments and that are being controlled by the white hats. Russia's in Ukraine trying to take back Ukraine from the deep state, because the New World Order was so heavy in there. They had their agendas all in place, especially in Ukraine, where the Russian mafia and that were the drugs trafficking and the child trafficking and things like that. So all these things have to play out slightly to a certain degree. They have to release the information slowly to the public so that they wake up a bit more. Like I say, Nibiru is it's been stopped. It's behind the scene for people who have wondering still what's happening with Nibiru, what's happening with Planet X, whichever you want to call it. It's been halted. Whether they'll wait until the Earth does its cycle around the back end of the sun, and then they'll let Planet X come around then, because we'll be out of the way of its path, which sounds like a logical thing to actually do. And if that does happen, there'll be like a huge disclosure on that being a real thing, because we'll see it. Everybody around the world will actually see it. So there'll be no denying that Planet X was real. So yeah, like I said, I don't expect anybody to believe anything. They don't have to. You've got to wake up in your own time. And eventually everybody will, because everything will come out. It'll be there in your face. You'll not be able to deny it. You'll not be able to hide away from it. You will still get some people, especially religious people in that, because everything they've ever believed in, it'll just go out the window because of the whole history of religion is wrong. It's just been manipulated so that to control the people that believe in it. Christianity, Catholics, Muslims, all religions are exactly the same. It's been put in place and changed just to control people. I mean, which good, like I said once before, what good would turn around and say to you, if you don't follow what I say, you'll go to hell. You'll suffer for all eternity. That's not a loving God. That's more of to do with control of the churches and stuff like that. Put you in fear. And fear obviously is the easiest way to control people, because when you're in fear, your vibrations are low. It dumbs you down. The same with all our foods and drinking water and things like that. It's all there to dumbing we down. Stop your pineal gland from opening up. Mine's not. Probably because of the amount of coffees I drink, at least about 20 a day. That's a lot of chlorine, a lot of chemicals in my body. But what choice have we got? At the minute, we don't have a lot of choice. Hopefully we will, because we do see a brighter future. The people are awake. We know what's coming. We know that the golden age is coming. We know that Starlink is in place, ready for to take over with a quantum computer. It'll take over finances, voting, teaching. It'll take over a lot of things, and say it's unhackable. It's assigned to you as a country, because all countries have got to sign up for this. And until there's peace in that country, they can't sign the agreement. So it's all there to help with, and it will come where it'll be blatant in your face. Like I say, some people, doesn't matter how blatant it is in their face, how many lies is proven that's real, how much of the deep state was controlling the world, their agendas and that. Some people will still blindside it. They'll still not agree with it. They'll still think of their own ways, which is fair enough. That's up to them. They'll end up probably being reborn again at a later date and have to go through the process then. which is a shame, because the whole part of this is like to say, like, forefathers and foremothers of a completely new era, a golden era of just pure love, contentment, peace. I mean, what person in the world wouldn't want that? I don't get why anybody wouldn't want that. So yeah, all I'm asking is just, when you're watching the media, when you're watching videos on YouTube and that, just to keep an open mind and think. And people, they think he's crazy, a conspiracy theorist. He's crazy, believes in something that's totally not true. One day soon, it is going to hit you in the face, and you're going to see it for yourself. So just do a little bit more research. There's plenty of evidence out there to prove some of these things are real. So remember, UK and the rest of the world, but especially the UK, to keep a level head, keep an open mind, and keep on awakening to the truth.
Awakening to the truth.